Welcome to A Woman's Brew, where women talk about beer. Today, we celebrate our 4th birthday with a classic British tradition of afternoon tea. I'm Joanne, and this is Tori.
Hello, hello.
And we're two beer-loving women on a mission to get more people drinking and talking about great beer. Come join us. It's been 4 years.
It is really crazy, isn't it? Because I feel like 2020 went a lot quicker than it felt.
Yeah.
No, but I feel like it went a lot quicker than it felt. Like it felt like it dragged on for ages.
Yeah.
Because of COVID. But then also I feel like you have to think about the fact that this podcast was up and going in September of 2020.
Yeah.
And in theory, like we weren't really in the danger zone and on lockdown until March. So that's March to April, May, June, July, August. That's literally in under 6 months. I had started an Instagram, a beer Instagram, because I felt like people were probably so bored of me putting that on my personal Instagram. I literally we joined these Facebook groups where we previously maybe weren't. I don't know about you, I previously hadn't been involved in any of I
don't think I'd been
the groups really, like none of that. Didn't even really know they existed, just kind of did my own thing. And then COVID's like, oh, let's go talk to like-minded people, I guess, and join the groups, and did all the online events and everything. Met you, thought it would be great to have a podcast. I got way more into podcasts because of the fact that I think we were in lockdown. So like I probably read a lot more. We've talked about like books and stuff before. I probably read a lot more before 2020.
Yeah.
And then I think 2020, because we were like, we just need things to kill time. I started listening to podcasts so much more heavily than I had been doing before.
Yeah, I think I think same. I think I did some more. I'm not as into podcasts as you are, like to listen to them. I pick and choose. Like every now and then I'll be like, oh, that's an interesting one. I'll listen to that. But yeah, I think I listened to a few more while we were in lockdown because you just needed like different things,
different stuff,
different
to keep you
stimulus, didn't you?
Yeah, I think it's true because you could only sit and watch so much TV.
Yeah,
and at least like podcasts, you could kind of take it around the house with you while you were moving about and doing stuff, and I think because of that, like me finding out more, I think people were recommending podcasts. So like I had listened to a bunch of podcasts, but they were like US based ones and stuff, and then I started being like, got so much more time to kill, let's just listen to more podcasts then, as a way to chill out in the evenings. And then people would recommend podcasts, and then more people in those groups were talking about their beer podcasts, which then I was like, I want to see this beer podcast. Met you, and then we've decided, okay, well, let's just start this venture together. So that is in under 6 months. We went from not being in any of the groups, not being in that community circle, being in our own little community bubbles. Like you had your women's pint club. I didn't really. I just enjoyed just drinking with friends and whatever, like locally. Didn't have beer groups or anything like that. And then in under 6 months went from that to like, I guess we have a podcast now.
Yeah, I guess we have a podcast now.
Crazy.
Let's do an episode. Let's do an episode once a month. Oh wait, let's do one every week for 4 years.
Oh god, yeah, that was funny. That was so. We were like, we'll only be once a month. And then we're like, well, let's make an exception because we're batch recording for the first few.
We've got loads.
I know we've talked about it before. How we're like, we'll batch record like the first few. Like that's great. We'll put like a few of them out in one go, and then we'll switch to like weekly. And then we were like, yeah, we got these beers though, so we might as well like just record this one, and we might as well record this one. And oh my god, the way the chips are stacking up, we have enough to do weekly. Let's just carry on weekly. And then it never stopped. But I think the difference was like, really, we were doing weekly when it was lockdown and we had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Now we have so much more stuff.
Slightly more difficult now.
It is so much more difficult because now we have so much more stuff that has to happen. If I was just maintaining inside the house, I'd be like, cool. But now it's like I've got to maintain inside the house and outside the house and all the other stuff that comes with that. And then the weekly, like it's insane that we've only managed to skip
1 week.
1 week.
And that's because I wasn't very well.
And that's like, we've managed when like one of us hasn't been great and we're like, okay, you know, we can get, or not been around or whatever, like we can draft someone else in to do this. Like, this is fine. We can do an interview with somebody else.
Yeah.
Not a problem. But there's only one time that was like, you were like, no, I can do it. And then we're like, it's not going to happen. No, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. And I think like there was a lot of beer podcasts around there now, and there just aren't as many about now.
I think there are. I think people don't advertise them as much. Like the same podcast. Yeah, I think the same podcasts are still going, because I know a whole bunch of them as well. They're still going, but I don't think you see them as advertised, because I think people have kind of gone full circle away from those. Like, it's like they went into those groups, they formed like bonds and connections and smaller communities in those groups, and then like once those bonds were like kind of formed, people sort of stepped slightly away from those groups. And I think it's just really interesting because like, yes, there's still very, very active groups, but I see that like a lot of the groups just kind of have the same people posting over and over again. And I think that there's lots of reasons for that we could speculate as to why that's the case, that, you know, is what it is. But it's interesting because I think those podcasts are still around. You just don't see people being like, oh, this week's episode of my podcast. I think, like, I know for us, I was just like, oh, I just don't feel like posting in these groups consistently isn't really getting us the, like, it's not, it doesn't matter. Like, for us, it didn't matter if we were posting, not posting.
Yeah, the amount of time it takes to post all of that stuff. And if you're not getting any traction, it's not worth it. And we're busy, peeps. Like, we love you. You're still here. You're still listening. We're still creating for you once a week.
Yeah.
But other than that, we're pretty busy. So,
but I think it was like, it just, as Rick has been saying a lot recently, just the juice isn't worth the squeeze on some of it, because I almost felt like, yeah, he's been saying that a lot, and I don't know why.
Has he?
Yeah, he's just like, I just don't think the juice is worth the squeeze on like everything.
That's
and
his current one. I enjoyed Grimbo from you today.
Oh, I say that quite. I do say that
Grimbo and Oofa Doofa are your current ones.
Oofa Doofa, that all spawned from an emoji on the work Slack. Somebody posted one that just said Oofa Doofa ones. Killed me, like cut me to the core, made me laugh so hard. And then ever since then at work, we'll just be like, oh, that's a big Oofa Doofa. It's either like a big Oofa Doofa or like, that's a 406. I almost don't want to explain the 406 joke. I'm just going to let anybody that knows about like tech nerd stuff figure out what, like, if you know what a 406 is, you know what a 406 is. If you don't, you don't. But those are the ones we've been using lately. It's like, that's a big Oofa Doofa and 406, please leave me alone.
My fave is an ID10T issue.
Oh yeah, ID10T. That's a good one.
Like, you get ID10T issues fairly regularly.
Yep. 100%. But yeah, that is like, those have been the good ones. I use Grimbo. I do use Grimbo quite a lot because I don't know, it just evolved one day because I got sick of it. Like, oh, that's grim.
Today.
Is that really? Oh, I'm shocked I haven't said it to you before. Maybe it's because I don't type it
quite a lot. Yeah,
I think it's because I don't type it. It's something that you physically say. Maybe I just haven't been saying things at Grimbo. I think I got tired of saying grim one day, and I was like, oh, that's Grimbo. And then
it's more syllables
stuck. Yeah, I know, but it just sounds jazzier, doesn't it?
It does sound jazzier. It does indeed. Speaking of jazzy, it's our 4th birthday once again. Yeah. We didn't organise anything big because we're rubbish, but
we just don't have time.
No, we don't have the time. But we decided to throw ourselves a little afternoon tea.
Yeah, properly, like properly afternoon tea. Look, so if you're watching the video,
yours is very pretty.
Finger sandwiches.
I've got ham sandwiches. I was going to cut them into fingers, but then my ham was a bit big, and I was like, I can't bother with that. So I've got some nice ham sandwich triangles. I've got scones, and the thing that really spawned it all. We've both got mini Colin the Caterpillars.
Let's not say why. Okay,
we'll say
we have little mini Collins. We're going to say
ones. The proper ones from Marks and Spencer's, because Tori is a connoisseur.
I'm a Colin connoisseur, and I know, like, if it ain't Colin, I know. So
we got the actual ones. I thought I was going to have to get a Mozza's version, but I didn't.
And that would have been
this.
You're suffering if that's the case. I would have been here with my pretty Collins. I actually did slice my sandwiches into fingers. I didn't get a scone. I got a single serving of Vicky sponge, which aka the worst cake.
It's not the worst cake. Yeah, I hate that you say that.
I said. It is. I have said that on numerous occasions. I will continue to say it. I stand by it. Worst of the cake.
Right, I'm challenging this, right?
Yeah.
Victoria sponge versus fruit cake.
Yeah, well, fruit cake's not really cake though, is
it? It is cake. It 100% is cake. You can't say that Victoria sponge is the worst cake when you don't like dried fruit, and there's fruit cake.
85% of the cake is dried fruit, and it's just held together by bits of cake.
It's a cake.
That ain't cake.
It is cake.
I'm obviously gonna take a Vicky sponge.
Right. So it's not the worst cake ever. Goodness. And also it's not the worst cake ever anyway. God,
it's the most awful common cake. So I've got my mini Collins as well, just to move on from that oofa-doofa moment. 406. I've got my little mini Collins. I wanted to get the little mini Connies. However, I was like, I'm not sure that I can be bothered to go all the way to the actual proper shop, because I literally have the M&S petrol station like on the corner of my road, and I was like, I will go there and see. And if they don't have Collins then, and I have to go all the way to a Marks and Spencer's, I will do it, and I will get the Connies because I like the little mini Connies. They're cute, but I have stuck it with the Collins for now. So
I also went into a Marks and Spencer's petrol station, and the first thing I saw was Colin the Caterpillar cookies. And I was like, there's cookies if I can't get proper Collins. But I went around the corner and they had mini Collins and a big Collins. So I was like, mini Collins it is. Got to do the real thing.
I like that. I did a ham sandwich with mine. It was like a mustard mayo, and then I did a coronation chicken, because I was like, what's the most Britishy? I don't know. I don't do a lot of afternoon teas. I'm not naturally British. I don't know. So I'm like, what's the most British sandwiches to have? Like, I know you guys like weird stuff. You're like, let's do like egg, and let's do cucumber. Yeah, and let's just do cheese and pickles or whatever. And you're like, that is such a bizarre choice for a sandwich. And I was like, okay, what's something that's like what's the most normal sandwich that I can get? And then I was like, oh, cool, like coronation chicken, that's basically like curry, that's cool, and a ham sandwich. But then I forgot that coronation chicken has sultanas in it. Do you even understand the restraint that I just put into not drop a big F?
I had this via voice note earlier this afternoon when she discovered this about her sandwich.
Pick them all out, and Rick ate them because he was like, oh, those are good, don't waste those. And then he was like, eat them, and I was like, they're horrific. Like, who's decided that? They were like, let's make a really tasty sandwich, now let's throw a bunch of sultanas in it. And the worst part is there's so many and they hide so easily, and I was so annoyed, so I had to go and pick them all out, stain my nails, because now it's like coronation chicken on my nails, and that's great.
Amazing.
But yeah, I went with the most British ones that I could find, and that's what I came out with.
So we did get beers to go with our afternoon tea, as opposed to tea.
We did.
And the first one we're going to drink is called Sandwich King. It is a Northern Monk Patrons project. It is a dry hop pilsner, 4%.
Yeah, I like this one. I think this is actually a collab with Sandwich King.
I think so, yeah.
As well. So,
and like, I think we had one particular beer that we'll get to, and then I saw the beer we're gonna have next, and I was like, oh my god, let's find afternoon tea stuff. And then we found this sandwich beer, and I was like,
I think we were just going through. I think we were going through, like, oh, there's a sandwich one. I guess we're just going to do afternoon tea.
Yeah, it makes sense. Right. I think this should pair fairly well with the sandwich.
If it doesn't, that's fine. That's fine. Do you want to? I've done a explain like I'm 5 for afternoon tea for anybody that doesn't know.
Oh, have you?
What afternoon tea is? Yeah. I asked ChatGPT to explain like I was 5 on afternoon tea. And I will explain it to you before we have the beer. So it's British afternoon tea is like a fancy snack time that happens in the middle of the afternoon. Imagine you're a bit hungry between lunch and dinner, but instead of grabbing a snack, you have a mini feast. Here's how it works. The tea, of course, the main thing is tea. people drink black tea, often with a bit of milk or sugar, which still is the most confusing thing in history to work out how somebody wants their tea, but that's another story. Sometimes there are different flavors, but tea is the star of the show.
Today.
It is, but it's confusing when someone's like, just this much milk, like just a bit of it, and you're like, how much? Just tell me how much. Like just like a tiny bit, and you're like, what? Like honestly, and then they describe it by color. But then they describe it by color. Okay, give me the SRM, people. I don't know.
Oh, brilliant.
The food is served on a special stand with 3 layers. On the bottom, there are little sandwiches like cucumber or egg sandwiches. I did not make that up. That is literally what we go for here.
No truth.
On the middle layer, there are scones, which are like sweet, crumbly biscuits, and you eat with cream and jam. I didn't go for scones because I was being environmentally friendly and not wasting, because I won't eat all of them. On the top layer, there are sweet treats like cakes and pastries. And then it says the tradition. This all started back in the 1840s when a lady named the Duchess of Bedford got hungry in the afternoon and wanted a snack. She started inviting friends over, and it became a fun social event for rich people to chat and eat yummy food. So afternoon tea is basically a fun and fancy snack time with friends with tea, little sandwiches, scones, and sweet treats. So I think that's what we're doing today, really.
That's perfect. That is
perfect. Although, we could be more rich. I would like it if we were more rich.
I would like it if we were more rich too.
The podcast, I'm not even asking to be rich. I just want to be like a little bit more rich. The podcast does not make any money. We actually, it loses us money.
It actually costs us money.
It costs us money. We go into deficit over this. We are not rich. The rest of it stands. I'm excited.
Yeah. It smells nice.
It does. Almost a bit of like, almost a bit like grape in it, I feel like.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like a tannin type aroma.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can find the hops. Peeling this label is not going to make any difference, is it? Oh, there's a person
it might do.
A sandwich.
Oh, is there a person? Oh, now I'm curious. I want the big reveal. There is a person eating a sandwich. Look at that. I'll show you. It's a man eating a sandwich.
With Lorien. Touch of lemon, fresh florals, melon. Yeah.
Melon. So I was kind of going, but I almost said melon, but as I dug into it a little bit, I was like, that I feel like it's more like grape skin type, like tanniny sort of element to it. But melon was definitely like the initial instinct.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
And crackery.
Right. Well, happy birthday.
Cheers.
This is like really easy. Like it doesn't. What's the ABV on this? Is this alcohol free? 4%. It tastes like so lightly. Like it almost tastes. It almost has like a light. It's not. I don't mean appley, but it almost comes across the way of like a really light, like apple juice, in the sense of like it is so light and like has that really like fruity element to it that it's just easily. You could tell me that was like 0.5%, and I'd be like, oh, okay.
I'm gonna try it with my sandwich.
Right, hang on. Let's give this a go. I'm going with the mustard first. Yeah, it's really nice with the ham sandwich.
Good. Yeah, that's really good with the ham sandwich.
I'm a bit scared of the coronation chicken. I'm afraid I'm gonna like find.
In case you haven't got any got all the sultanas out.
I was nervous for a second. I thought I hit a sultana. It's not. It was chicken. It's stressful. It's not safe. It actually wasn't even bad with the coronation chicken. But I do think like it worked really well with the ham. Like I feel like the ham was the top tier choice on that one.
Yeah. I did ask on Instagram if people were going to have a afternoon tea with beer, what beer would people pick? And I got some responses.
Oh, okay.
People actually told me, which was nice. Our friend Chris. Hi, Chris. They told me that they would get Ulu by Siren. Solid choice.
Solid choice. Always a solid choice.
Yeah. Alex, who I work with, said Rooster's High Tea.
Ooh. I don't think I've had that one.
No, I don't think I have either. So that, I think, it's called high tea, so that just works really nicely.
Works really well.
And Farmer Ben 1989 said something with beautiful English hops.
1989, great year. I was born that year. Thank you, Farmer Ben. That was brilliant.
Yeah. English tea, British afternoon tea, English hop
need
beer.
those.
I mean, we know how I feel about a green hot beer, so it's almost time.
I love a green. I do love a green hop beer. We didn't really do a lot of them last year, but I feel like there was something that was going on last year. I think like weather or something. And then like there was a bunch of events that were supposed to happen near you that I feel like they got cancelled or postponed or something, and then we couldn't go to them. I feel like there was something that we were going to go to.
There was a bus that went round a couple of breweries, and it was happening when I was in Yakima, ? I think something happened while I was
Maybe?
Yeah. It's the I don't want to give away the timing of when we're recording this, but it is the Hop Festival in Faversham next weekend, so
I'm sure everyone's going to go and Google and be like, when did you record this
episode? Because that's super important that you know that. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Oh, I also asked, because our next sweet treat is, or my next sweet treat is scones. I asked the very controversial question.
Oh, where do you do your...
Which way round do you do your jam and cream? Jam then cream then jam. Mm-hmm. What are you talking about? Or beer then beer were my options.
Fair.
52% said jam then cream, which is obviously the right way to do it. I 100% agree. 36% said cream then jam, and 12% said beer then beer.
So hold on, what were the percentages again?
52% jam then
52.
cream.
Okay.
36% cream then jam.
Okay.
12% beer then beer.
I think we've been doing this podcast for 4 years, and this is now probably the great divide that might not make us see. Is it? Are
you a cream then jam person?
I am, because I love cream. So I'm like, I want all the cream, and then I can just do a little dollop.
That's why you do it that way round. Because I was going to ask you, what's your reasoning?
My tactic is I load a shit ton of the cream, and I think it's so thick and a lot harder to spread than the jam. So, and I find like it gets a bit like stuck, so I don't like messy utensils and all that. So like I will go, it's too messy. I don't like it. So I'm like, let's go like get lots and lots and lots of like cream, smear the cream all over that. You can make it look a lot nicer when it's not going over something else as well. It just kind of sticks to the scone, and I just do like just loads of it. And then like you just take a little gentle like a little kiss of the jam. Just enough so it's there. It's just enough so there's like a nice thin layer, but really for me the cream is the star of it. But then also controversial take, you roasted me earlier because you were like, do you only like, you don't even like dried fruits, like, so you only really have had a plain scone anyway, like you're like, is that all you eat? I was like, yeah, exclusively.
As well, yeah, so you have a plain scone with loads of cream and a little bit of jam.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is the great divide.
It's a great divide. It's not a great divide for me, because I'll just carry on eating.
I mean, eat it the way you want to eat it.
I love it because everyone goes for the dried fruit scones. And I'm like,
because actually I'll have those and you can have the plain ones. And I will have more jam. Thank you very much. That works. Actually, it probably works out quite nicely. Yeah. Because we could split things quite well between us.
I like jam. Like what jam do you use? I'm like strawberry. I'm exclusively strawberry, really.
Raspberry.
And that's grape. Like I'm like grape in the US, whatever.
Raspberry. Raspberry seedless.
Ooh, I like strawberries and champagne.
Oh, that is a way to go.
You know, afternoon tea's about
you're being bougie.
Richness. It's decadent. It's demure. I just like everyone's using that word, so I'm trying to use buzzwords. It's demure. Yeah. I mean, that's like, I'm gonna do it. You can get really like cheap ones of like strawberries and champagne. Yeah, I mean they're equally always good.
I just prefer raspberry over strawberry for everything.
I prefer strawberry over raspberry.
Yeah, see, I'm a raspberry girl. I like my raspberry.
If you put fruit in a bowl, I'm gravitating towards the strawberries more than the raspberries. I'll have them both, but like I could eat a whole bowl of strawberries.
But I do make a mean cranberry and orange scone, so
I'll never know.
Because you don't do fruit.
I will never know because I won't eat it. I would eat it if you were like, please, I need you to have this. It's really important to our friendship. I would obviously put our friendship first, and I'd be like, fine.
Yeah.
But if you were like, oh hey, I've made these, do you want one? I'd be like, oh no, thank you, and then I'd just carry on.
And I'd be like, eat it.
Yeah, like if you're like, I made this, please, I'd be like, okay, cool. But
I would never force you to eat anything you didn't want to eat.
Yeah, but if you were like, oh, I won't be upset. Okay, fair. But if you were like, you won't be upset, I won't be upset. I'll just be disappointed. I'd be like,
oh my god, then you'd have to eat it.
I'd do it, but like, but if you were just like, oh, I don't really care, I've made these, or you can have this plain ass, scones, I'd be like, I'm going with the plain ones.
I mean, if I was going to make you scones, I wouldn't make you one with dried fruit in because I know you hate it. Like,
I think the only
what kind of friend do you think I am?
The only ones that like US style scones that I've made where I've had like apples and cinnamon or like spiced ones like that. Like I'll have that, but I'll have an apple and cinnamon one because I don't mind apple as dried fruit. It's like, I don't know why. I think it's
not the same.
Something has the texture of grapes.
It's not the
same.
No. It's not the
same.
If
it's got the skin on it, I'm like,
it's not the same as like
a dehydrated or dried apple.
Fruit. Yeah, no, it's not the same. It's different texture.
Like cranberries, it's the same because of how they dry, and blueberries, like I'm like, brother, like no, thank you. Oh,
this is so interesting. Do we want to try our next beer?
Yeah, let's.
Okay. So I saw this one and was just like, we have to get this because it's called Cuppa from Northern Monk.
I love that it's doing everything but saying that it's used Yorkshire tea. It's like,
it looks like Yorkshire tea.
It says, they say never turn down a cuppa, a right nice brown ale made with tea from Yorkshire. I mean, what other
tea and biscuit flavours?
What other tea made from Yorkshire? Are they putting in it that has this similar design? I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this one, especially because it's a brown ale as well, so that makes it more interesting. It's like, I think the tea beers that we had before we did the episode with tea, I don't think we did any brown ale ones.
No, I don't think we did.
So I'm excited to see what this one's like. Oh, that's an interesting.
It's a lovely copper colour.
Yeah, and the head on it is like really beautiful.
Oh, it smells delish.
It smells almost like chocolate. I think it almost smells like a bit chocolatey.
Like chocolate digestives.
Which I wasn't expecting. I thought it was going to be more like the herbal, tea note to it.
A little bit nutty.
Yeah, for me, chocolate digestive is the strongest. Yeah. Like, just really, really heavy. And it's making me really excited to try it.
Yeah.
Should we try it?
Yeah, ready?
Let's try it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, that's delicious.
I love it.
It's so good.
We don't need to do anything else. So I will say, we didn't really talk a lot about the sandwich one at the start. Well, I will say it's really good. Like, that one was really, really drinkable. Yeah. It paired really well with the sandwich. I feel bad that we didn't talk more about it, to be fair. But now that I've just moved on to this one, I'm like, what other beers are there? I mean, it's Northern Monk. It's fine. You're still getting your plugs in here, Northern Monk.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
mate! Imagine this on cask.
I mean, I'm happy enough with it as it is, not even on cask. Like,
it's so tasty.
It's like the aftertaste is very much like a cup of milky sugar tea.
Yeah, it's a bit
with a biscuit,
bit of like digestive. I get a bit of nuttiness, like the kind of like the oatiness that you get from from a digestive?
Yeah. It is like, but for me, it does take like the aftertaste. So while you're drinking it, it has the digestive taste to it, and the note of, I think it also doesn't help that it kind of like has the chocolatey aroma to it and stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's now also like leaning more towards that more hearty taste of like that chocolate digestive, the thicker biscuit. But then the aftertaste that it leaves in your mouth is like you've just had a cup of milky tea with a bit of sugar in it. And I don't really drink tea. Like we were talking about, we have to replace our kettle, and Rick was like, oh, we don't really need, like, we had quite a nice expensive one, and he was like, I don't think we really need an all sing and dancing one because we only really use it for cooking. We don't, like, we occasionally once in a blue moon
I think I use it when I visit.
Yeah. He was like, literally on the odd occasion when it's really cold out, we might have a cup of like peppermint tea, or if someone's really not feeling well, it's like a cup of peppermint tea. But that is like so few and far between. We really don't drink a lot of tea. I only drink tea as like a nicety to not be rude if someone offers it to me.
Yeah.
That is kind of it. And every so often I have a nostalgia of maybe I really do like tea, and then I make one and I'm like, no, I really don't.
No, I don't.
But the aftertaste for me is really, in the best way possible, the nice aftertaste you get from a cup of tea with the sugar and the milk. I love this.
Delicious. It's so delicious. So I actually want to try it with my sandwich, because I think it's really good with the sandwich.
I don't want to try it with mine because mine's coronation chicken, and I feel like it won't be good. I ate all my ham sandwich. How was it?
Yeah. Having a sandwich before makes it, kind of brings out a bit more of the kind of milky sweetness.
Oh, okay, I'm going to take one for the team.
And a bit of breadiness. It's nice.
I'm going to do a coronation. It does completely change the flavour, I think, for me.
Yeah.
It's more bitter.
Oh, really?
Sandwiches, because I think the coronation...
Oh, because you got, coronation.
Yeah, because I didn't do just ham, so I think that's almost the fruitiness in the coronation chicken has brought out a bit more of the bitterness in it.
Oh.
So it's not... But I'm curious to see what it's like with the Vicky sponge. But then the question is, do you say scone or scone? I say scone.
Scone. I say scone because if you don't say scone, then the joke, what's the fastest cake in the world, scone, doesn't work.
I don't tell those jokes, Joanne.
Why not? They're great.
I'm just kidding. I tell, like...
You do.
Exactly.
You love a dad joke.
I love a dad joke.
So you can't say scone because otherwise the joke doesn't work.
I think I just adjust when I want to tell the joke. So I feel like my body just instinctively wants to say scone.
All right. I have my scone.
I have my single serving Victoria sponge.
All right, here we go.
That's massively brought out the milkiness for me.
Mine's made it really nutty, which is still really good. In fact, it tastes more like a cup of tea now.
It's so weird how that has just transformed so drastically from having it straight to having it with a random bit of coronation chicken to having it with a slice of Victoria sponge. Like the flavour of it has just transformed so much between each of those three.
It's a first time little beer.
I definitely get more of like the tea without the digestive.
Yeah.
So interesting. Oh, big recommend for this if you can get it and try it.
Big, like, this is going up there for my beer of the year. Like, it's so good.
I think because it's so multifaceted, it's so versatile, and I think it would be fun to just like get a bunch of them and be like, how does it taste with this? How does it taste with that?
And like, let's be real, we just got this for a laugh because it was called Cuppa.
Yeah. And it looks like a Yorkshire tea branding.
We were like, ha ha ha, that's really funny. Ha ha ha, let's do an afternoon tea. We are shocked because, like, I mean, not that
absolutely
like,
shook it.
No shade, Northern Monk. You always make great beer. Like, I didn't expect it to be anything less than a good beer. But for me, like, it is blowing me away.
I genuinely just thought, like you said, they would be a bit of a laugh. They were like, great. Yeah.
It's a brown ale. It's going to be tasty.
It fits the bill. It'll be nothing else. I thought it was just going to be like a no frills, like just decent, just a decent brown ale. Didn't expect to be sat here shooketh to my core. And having like an existential crisis over how it just evolved with every single thing that I just drank. To the point that I kind of want to save it for the Collins a little bit.
Yes, we do. We do need to save some for the Collins.
Okay, but it's going to be really hot. I'm gonna go back to drinking the Sandwich King.
I'm putting it aside and I'm bringing the Pilsner back over.
I might put this last little bit in the fridge, just a little bit.
Yeah.
To keep it slightly cold. Oh my god, this is phenomenal.
So good.
I had Rick have a bit of it. He took like a few sips and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's very good." And I was like, just be more impressed, please. Please. I was like, this is great. It pairs with everything. I wouldn't pair it with a coronation chicken, to be fair, but it I wouldn't pair it with that. But did it change the flavour? Absolutely, it did. Right, let's get back to the Sandwich King.
Back to drinking the Sandwich King. Right, so I'm
gonna have one more sip of it. It's really good.
Go on. Treat yourself. It's our birthday.
Oh, treat yourself. Yeah, it's our birthday. When I told Rick I was getting the Collins, he went, I went, I've got to go up and get Collins. And he went, whose birthday is it? And I went, it's our podcast birthday. And then he asked if he could, he went, how many of the Collins are you having tonight? And I went, I don't know, like one or two. Yeah. And he's like, well, can I have one for pudding? And I was like, yeah, but you didn't even wish us happy birthday. I was like, you have to wish us happy birthday. So he started singing happy birthday and I went, yes, okay, you can have a Collins.
It's fine. I hid mine up here in the studio and then Gordon can have them afterwards because if I opened them anywhere near him, he would have just inhaled all of them. So I'd hide them.
I love that.
Speaking of weddings and other halves, you thought it'd be really funny if we did a Newlyweds game, didn't you?
I did. I absolutely did. Asking each other the hard-hitting questions about each other that we should know. And I guess it would be funny to see if we do know.
I'm pulling a face because I don't know if these questions are hard-hitting, but I think you'll enjoy them.
I think that I like... how many do you think I'll be able to get of you? Like, do you think that I'll be able to get yours? I think you're gonna just be doing wild guesses with mine. Yeah, I
think I'm just gonna do wild guesses on yours, and I think you'll do really well on mine.
I think you're gonna get like, I don't know. So I've done 11 ones because I was like, I'm gonna leave you one really easy one.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave you one really, really easy one. That is just definitely a little bit over the fence to you. But the rest, I don't know. It's a toss-up because I think you probably could do some, but some of them you're just going to be like, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like you're better at these sort of things than I am. Like, but we're going to find out. Right. How do you want to do it? One each? Go backwards and forwards?
Well, yeah, can do. Or do we want to? Are we just going to say it, or do you want to do it like on a piece of paper? How do you want to do it? What's the best way?
I was just going to ask the question and just say it. Yeah.
All right. Do you want me to go first? Because I think I've got more than you.
You can go first because you've got more than me, yeah.
I'm going to lob this one over to you. This is going to be the really, really easy one. This is your practice question.
Oh, God.
And I swear, if you don't get this, it's going to be a problem. Which that might be a hint in itself.
Get divorced.
So overall, we're going to go overall American, Vermont style, West Coast, or New England.
You?
Yeah.
New England.
Yeah. We don't. That's it.
That one was easy. That was really easy.
That's what I was like. If you don't get this,
I'll be in trouble. I would have been in trouble for that.
I was like, if you can't get the overall, like an overall American IPA, a Vermont style, a West Coast, or a New England, and you can't get that right from 4 years,
I'll be in trouble.
I literally have a Massachusetts thing behind me. Like, come on, man.
Okay, I'm going to pick an easy one for you.
Okay.
If I had to choose, would I rather have my beer too warm or too cold?
I think you'd rather have it too cold because it will always warm up.
Yes.
That was really strong when you were like, if I could choose, and I was like, oh no.
Oh no.
All right. These are gonna like, some are gonna get like really progressively harder, and then it might get easy again.
Okay.
I don't know. How many beer shirts? Let's just do even. How many brewery specific T-shirts do I own?
Ooh.
This is why I was like, I think you're gonna. I'll be surprised if you can get it if like within 5 points. I'll consider that a win.
46.
I'm bad at math. Hold on. You are so close to getting it within 5 points. The answer is 54.
Oh.
And I'll give you some fun. I'll give you a bonus point. Bonus point if you can guess which one of those is that I've said on numerous occasions is my absolute favorite one.
Oh. Ooh.
This is, you asked me paying attention because I've said this on numerous occasions.
It's one of the cropped ones, isn't it?
I can give you a slight hint.
Yes, please.
Not only have I spoken about it on numerous occasions, I literally wrote a post about it.
You wrote a post about it?
I wrote a post about it after I got it.
Oh, is it your wild weather one that's women fit?
It is indeed. I thought when you were like, I was like, I'm going to give you a hint because you're like, if I go with my Croft one,
Yeah.
I will say, so just a bit of fun facts there. I have 2 duplicate wild weather tops. So I've got my normal black one and my white one. And then I've got a backup of both the black and the white because they were so kind enough to be like, we're getting new stock in before RIP wild weather. But they were like, we're getting new stock in of more women's fit. You can have these. The whole reason I can't say the whole, maybe there was other reasons as well, but all I know is that I had written something that was like, why don't people have women's shirts?
Yeah.
And then the owner at the time was like, you know what? Valid point. We're going to order some women's shirts. They were like literally gave me one that was so incredibly kind. And I was like, this is the best women's fit t-shirt for a brewery I've ever had in my life. Arguably one of my favorite ones to wear because it just looks really good. Yeah. And so I was like, Boop, think you've got one as well because he was like, "I'll give you guys both on the podcast." So I was like, "It's great." My favorite one there. And if we're counting in total, how many brewery plus just like beer adjacent ones or beer overall, including like festival? You don't have to answer this. I'll just tell you the answer to this one. If we're talking about like festival t-shirts and companies that are like beer adjacent and all that, I've got 71.
Oh, I don't want to count mine because Gordon will divorce me.
I haven't even counted like the hoodies or anything. The only to be fair, I'm not like that sad. I didn't count it just for like this. Yeah. I was putting away shirts. I was making piles and trying to like get shirts organized when I did like a last cleanse of stuff. And I had them in piles of like, I started kind of folding them and putting them in order like colored and all that. And I was like, oh God, I can do an easy count now of how many I have. And that was just at the point of which I did this a few months ago. So I might even have slightly more than that, but I'm going on those numbers because I'm not recounting them. So yeah. And like that, I think the 71's inclusive of stuff like my Brave Noise shirts and my Women Invented Beer shirts, which I highly recommend. Go check out her store. Awesome stuff. So, all right, I'll let you ask me your next question then. I'm stressed now.
Which brewery would I choose for a weekend visit?
That's really hard because there are a few. Would it? Oh my God. So can I talk out loud without committing to an answer?
You may.
Okay. So part of me is like, you go like, I feel like I want to say Sobremesa because I'm like, oh, it's Hay on Wye. It's the first book village. You loved that. That was a great time there for you. Part of me is like, ooh, Little Earth Project because it's just beautiful in general. And I know they've got places to stay there and that's really good. And then part of me is like, would it be like Unbarred or somewhere like that, because like Brighton's really good in general for places, and like there's a few really, really good places around there. I'm gonna say Sobremesa just because of the fact that it's by Hay on Wye.
You were so close, because I thought about
What
putting
was
that,
it?
but then I put Little Earth Project.
Oh my god! Like, you don't even understand.
You
I was
had
kind of
very
like
sound reasoning.
So I was like between the two of those were my top two, and I was like Unbarred was kind of like the lower third because of the fact that in my brain I was like, oh, there is some stuff around there. Like, I know that you've gone to that theatre sometimes. And so, like, for you could go see a show and you could do this and that would be really good. Because I was thinking everywhere else, it would just be like, I don't think you'd be like, oh, you'd go there for a weekend, but you'd be going for something specific as opposed to the brewery. And then these, I was like, literally, it's got to be Sobremesa or it's got to be
you had
Little Earth
50-50
Project.
chance, and all of your reasoning was very sound.
It went because of the books. Because I don't know that much about
I didn't
what's
even
around
thought
the
about
Project.
that, and now I'm like, oh, maybe I made the wrong choice.
I love that my guess and my logic has made you be like, oh, I might have chosen wrong. I might have screwed that one up. I think I made the wrong choice. As if you were offered a weekend away and you were like, I made the wrong choice. I'm going somewhere completely wrong. I think it's just because I don't know enough about what's around the Little Earth Project.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I'd known maybe more about what was directly around there, I might be like, yeah, that. But the books lead me towards
you were misled by the books.
I was misled by the books.
Very
Won't be the first time. Okay, next question for you. You probably could get this one. How many takes do I say that I'll give something that I'm recording before I lose patience and give up? E.g., if I don't get it in this many tries, I'm probably not getting it, so I'm done.
Like 2.
Final answer?
3.
I was like,
really annoyed. You get really annoyed at 2.
I get annoyed at 2, and number 3 is like, if it's not now. If I get annoyed at 2, like I get like number 1, I'm like, fair game. Number 2, I'm like, this is the worst. I'm so annoyed. And then number 3 is like, I push because I'm so annoyed at number 2 that I'm like, it's got to be better than that. I'm putting my all into this one. And then at 3, I'm like, we're good here. It's not going to get better than this. But I think I definitely have done more than 3, but I always will say 3 is my limit. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah. If I could only drink one craft beer for the rest of my life, what would it be?
I'm going to say Duchess.
Ooh.
Is that not it?
No.
Are you feeling like you might have made the wrong choice again?
Yeah, again, I feel like I made the wrong decision.
I think I might know you better than you know you, because I'm like, no, you definitely, like, I was ready to commit to that, like, a full
you were
stop.
Like,
I was like, 100% it's Duchess. And then you were like, oh. It was like almost like you had, your ooh was like, I hadn't thought of that option. I didn't think that was an option.
I put Sam Adams.
Would you, like, genuinely, if you could only drink one beer ever again, would you genuinely pick Sam Adams over Duchess?
I think I would, because I feel like there are times
I feel like you have to double down now.
But as much as I love Duchess, and it is one of my favourites, there are times where I'd be like, oh, I'm not in a Duchess mood, but I could consistently have a Sam Adams. You know,
that's fair.
Like a Vienna lager is, like, it goes with a lot more things and a lot more situations, I think, than Duchess does.
I could respect that, but I feel like I at least should get bonus points on the fact of making you go, ooh,
did.
like you didn't, like you were like, that was like I could have picked that, like
I didn't even think of that one.
That's sound reasoning. That's fair. After lockdown was announced, where did I get my first batch of beer from?
Also, I'm thinking out loud. I'm not committing yet.
Okay.
Because I automatically wanted to say Siren, but I know that's not it. Because I know you said, oh, I ordered from this place. This is the place. It was Fierce. I'm locking in Fierce.
You're locking in Fierce?
I'm locking in Fierce.
You should have stuck with Siren. It
God
was indeed
damn
Siren. I said Siren because initially I thought the answer was, I was like, oh, who's the first person I like got beer from? And I was about to say Fierce, but then I went back through things. I was like, actually, the first but actually the first online order, because I was like going back through and I was trying to find something else, and I went, oh yeah, no, Fierce wasn't. They were the first people I bought my like a proper glass from. So it's the first Teku I got, and it was the first real proper like big order that I did. So before that, even I did my first order with a hoppy place in April, and I got the Tiny Rebel Stay Puts. So I got those 2 orders online before I had even got the Fierce one. So I was initially going to say what was the first online order I did, but actually after lockdown was announced, the first thing I did was be like, well, I don't know how long we're going to have to be on lockdown for, and I'm going out tonight and I'm getting a bunch of beer from Siren. So I immediately went being like, because I think they gave us like a run up to it, didn't they? Were like, it's going to be lockdown from, it wasn't like today it's lockdown now. It was
like 2 weeks time, because I remember spending 2 solid weeks just setting up phones and laptops for people.
It was literally like, in 2 weeks we're going to go in lockdown, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, the first thing my brain went to was, we're going to not really be going anywhere. So I'm just going to go stock up on a bunch of beer from Siren. So that's what I did, because it was local. I didn't really know a lot about online ordering yet at that point in time. And actually, fun fact is, after that, with my first online order having been a hoppy place, that was the first time I'd heard about a hoppy place, and realizing that there were bottle shops nearby to me and stuff, because I had no idea about any of that, because we didn't really, I just went to breweries as and when and got what I could from where I went to. So
this isn't one of my questions, but where was the first place that I bought beer from? Because I can remember.
Was it hang on, I need to do a quick Google. Because I'm like, I know, who was it? I want to say was it Time and Tide?
It wasn't. They did end up being a staple of people that I ordered from and got it too. But I actually went along to Boutiliers and bought beer. And I bought beer from them in a carton because they had beers on tap that were going to be, that like they'd been talking about them, and they were these really great beers, and they'd been trying to launch them, and then we were about to go into lockdown, and so I went over. That was before they were in the bar. And they had a place in Ashford can't remember what the place was called, but they had like a little shop, and I went over and I bought some bottles. They had some Belgian beer as well, so I bought some Belgian beer, and then I got 2 beers in like milk cartons to bring back with me.
I know that, like, so Siren was the first that I went to after it was announced. That I did a few online orders, and then obviously I went back and I got some more. I ordered online from Siren again, and then I went and did like pickups and stuff, and that was where I had a growler before, which is now with you. And that was like I went and I got a growler from them as well, because you could get like points for filling it up and earn like a free growler pour. So yeah, that was I just thought that would make an interesting question, because I thought that might be one that I was like, I wonder if you'll stick to your gut and say Siren, or if you will know.
You've definitely said my first like
online or like I thought it was my first online order, but it wasn't. It was my first like proper glassware.
So you're trying to catch me out.
I mean, I was, in the sense of, I said, you know, the first after lockdown was announced, not after it was started.
Fine. Right, let's see if you can get this one. Which unusual craft beer ingredient would I be most willing to try?
Can you repeat the first part of that again? Which
unusual craft beer ingredient would I most be willing to try?
Unusual craft beer ingredient. I don't even know. Because I feel like you'd be willing to try a lot.
This is a true story.
So that's why I'm like, what would you be unwilling to try? I don't know. I'm going to take the L.
So I said, the coffee beans that get pooped out by civet cats.
Yeah,
he makes the coffee from that. I was like, I would try that in a beer.
I was just like, I was there going, that was not even anything that
it's supposed to be
registered.
The best coffee in the world, right? So I was like, I'll try it in a beer.
Literally, I was like, I was thinking of like your more traditional, like more, like I know unusual, but I was thinking more like in the traditional unusual sense, right. As opposed, like I was thinking like, what kind of hot products would you be like, oh, that's really weird and out there that you'd want to try? Literally, like coffee beans were the last thing. That was a really good question because I was there going, but you try a lot of stuff. I don't know.
Right, so I was just like, it's got to be something really weird.
You got me on that one. Can you name what? I'm just going to say one of the breweries that were on my try before the end of 2020 list.
Before the end of 2020?
Yeah. It's going to be a complete shot in the dark. I know this, but I thought just be interesting just to see if you could guess. I don't even know if we talked about this. No, this was just stuff that I posted, as opposed to we didn't have like the quarterly reviews at that point. We didn't have like let's talk about try before we buy stuff. It was strictly just something that I'd done.
Little Earth Project.
Nope.
No?
The list consisted of Pomona Island, Left-Handed Giant, Brew York, Unbarred, and Staggeringly Good.
Wow. Back in the day.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just thought I knew that was going to be a really tricky one.
Yeah.
But I thought that would make a really interesting one to tell you the list that I actually had at that point in time.
I know through lockdown, I specifically looked for, like beers I specifically looked for, Duration's Purple Carrot beer, because they had just started brewing and putting stuff out, and they did their Purple Carrot beer. More Little Earth Project, because I'd seen them, and I think I ordered some from Trembling Madness. Yonder as well, because like that's back in the day when Yonder was still in bottles. Yeah. Interesting.
That's crazy. I was just because I said I was scrolling through, kind of going, what are some really good questions I can ask? And I stumbled across that, and I was like,
that was a good
one. This is just a really interesting time capsule, so I'll ask that one.
Right, I feel like this one is fairly easy. What time of year do I enjoy craft beer the most?
I just say all year. Not a time.
You've got to pick a season.
Oh, I'd say autumn.
Yeah.
You got the pumpkin. If I have to pick one,
we got pumpkin spice beers, we got green hop beers, we got Marzen, we've got Oktoberfest happening. It's the best beer season.
It is the best beer season, arguably. Well, because I was thinking, I was like, oh yeah, because like you just drink what you like. I do. So I was like, all of it. Like I feel like all year. I was like, this is a trick question all year round. And then you have to pick a season. I was like, oh, okay, autumn. I didn't even bother putting that one on the list, but I can match that one. So this was going to be sort of like the bonus with a number 11 bonus question.
Okay.
But I mean, let's just skip to it now. How many PSLs have I had this season so far at the time of this recording? You literally saw my story from 2 days ago. So if you don't get this right, you reacted to it. If you don't get this right,
6.
I have. Thank you. Done.
Guess how many I've had? Guess how many I've had?
0.
Still 0.
It's okay. Thoughts and prayers.
I'm going to have one tomorrow. I'm going to have one tomorrow.
It's okay. I'm also going to have one tomorrow. It's fine. and I'm going to do it with their pumpkin cold foam bullshit that they've got out now. So yeah, I'm going to have one on the way to Aerial Hoop. So there we go. All right, your question.
I'm very sad about it. If I were to describe my personality as a beer, what style would I be?
That's so difficult. You were to describe yourself as a beer. Oh, mate, that's a oofa doofa. Because I'm like going through my head and I'm like, what's like the right, like what's the one that if I say it, you're like immediately no.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I feel like we also need to crack open a new beer.
Yeah, because if not, I'm going to go right back to the Cuppa.
Do you want thinking time?
Yeah, give me thinking time.
Okay, right, you got thinking time on this one.
Holy heck, that's it. You've asked an oofa doofa of a question.
Right, so our third beer is going to go for our afternoon tea. Piece of Cake, a session sour from Vault City. I love the label on this.
I do as well, and let's be honest, the reason we got this because we already had like a third beer, but the reason we got this was because you had it, I got FOMO, and then I was like, do you think we could get it also for the birthday one? And then you were like, I'll get it, and I was like, thank you.
I will go and get it.
I saw it come out, and I was like, can I hunt it down and get it?
I hadn't seen it, so I went to Beer Merchant's tap after LCBF, and I had a garage beer that was on tap, and I was like, oh, next beer I'm going to go and see what they got in the fridge, and I'm having a little wander, and I was like, oh, this is, and I was like, oh, Piece of Cake session sour, yes please, and it was delightful, and so I sent you a picture, and I was like, oh, this is very nice.
I was like, oh, I got FOMO. I got FOMO, but I had seen like other places posting it, and I was like, oh, I wonder if any places that I'm going in the immediate are going to have it, so I can try it. But then also I was like, yeah, but I need kind of a reason to buy it. So I sort of was like, do you think we've got a reason to do it for the podcast? And then you were like, I will get us some. And I was like, thank you.
Jammy strawberries, tart raspberries, and sweet vanilla icing. I'm interested to see how this pairs with your Vicky sponge.
Yeah, that was actually the reason that I got it for sure. For pairing purposes.
Oh, it's such a beautiful colour.
Smells so good.
This is why I shared it with you, because I was like, girl, this beer.
That like jammy smell is just beautiful.
It's so good. It just smells like raspberry jam.
I feel like this is what you describe yourself as.
Oh my god, I should have done.
I'm gonna go with a raspberry sour.
That's a really good one. Once again, I feel like you know me better than I know myself.
Oh, what was I was going to say stout, but then I'm like, no, this is it. This one.
Girl, say
what's the actual answer? Oh, yeah, that's fair. That one didn't even. But I just feel like you're more of like...
I'm more fruity.
No. I would say you're more like bold and full of flave and like... I mean, Saison's full of flavors, for sure.
Yeah.
But I just feel like the
spicy,
raspberry...
a little bit weird.
I mean, I don't think you're weird. That's also because I'm like double weird. My co-worker the other day, I requested the stage version.
I own my weirdness. It's fine.
100%. So I requested to see if I could find like a copy of the stage version of Spirited Away. Because it's ending in August. Spirited Away is my favorite anime, like one of my favorites, I should say. It's like pretty top tier for me. It was like the first anime I saw in theaters, one of the only anime I've seen in theaters, and it just made me realize like, oh wow, anime is super, super cool. Awesome. Wanted to see it. I was not about to pay £200 a ticket to go and see it. And I only had a limited window, and it's like crap seats for £200 a ticket. And Rick was like, I really don't want to go see it that bad. And I was like, but I really want to go see it. But the thing is as well, is it's these awesome puppets. It's all in Japanese, so it's subtitled. But like, you know the play. If you know the movie, you know what's going on, so it's fine. And he was like, but that's £200 to go read subtitles. And I was like, so I was trying to find like a copy of this because it is streaming on Cinemax or something like, or HBO Go or whatever. Yeah. And my coworker was like, you've hit a new level of weird asking for this. And then I went, he went, I think you've hit a new level of weird. And I went, oh, my dude, it only gets deeper. I went, this is me on my best behavior. It only gets deeper. You should see my algorithms on Instagram.
Right. some of the conversations that we have. Oh, there was something that I was going to warn you about because I feel like there is something that's going to come up in your algorithms because I was looking at it the other day, but it's not.
What weirdness are you gonna be? Tell me about it, Amanda. Tell me about it later when dodgy stuff is gonna, what degenerate stuff is gonna come up because of your. I think that's what's really funny is I think that I am the degenerate, that I am like this. If they only knew the algorithms I got because of you. And I think you should leave that in because I think everyone needs to marinate in the mystery. And this is why, like, when you're like saison, I'm like, no, you are this like massively bold, fruity raspberry sour.
I give it, I'll take it. I'll take it. Cheers. It's so good.
It is so good. All right, hold on. Let me have one with the Vicky sponge before I ask you the next question.
All right, I'm gonna have some of my scone.
Ooh. It works really well because I think the jam in the Victoria sponge emphasizes the raspberry in the beer. Instead of like taking away from it or making it taste really good, they are so similarly matched that I think it amplifies the raspberry.
Yeah.
And the cakey part and the creamy part of it, the icingy part, just sort of like ground it so it's not too sweet, it's not too overpowering, it's not like too unbalanced. Like I feel like that brings a really nice balance to it.
Yeah, my one, it really like brings out like the sconiness of it. And I didn't have cream, I've got vanilla spray cream on my on top of mine, and the vanilla in this beer, like it's quite subtle in the beer, but when they go together, it adds this like really nice vanilla layer to this. Oh, this is a good pairing.
This one's a really good pairing. I was worried that they would detract from each other, but they actually amplify each other in the best way. And they bring out the tartness. Like I feel like the cake's bringing out the tartness in the beer, but not in a fruity tart way. Not in a... Not so that it's... I don't know how... But like not... It doesn't cancel each other out or like make it land in a negative way. It's really well rounded.
And it's not like... They match each other quite nicely, so it's not too sweet. Like the jamminess really comes through.
Yeah, I would agree. Oh, it's like so far we've done such a banging job. I think, if I'm honest.
I think so.
Okay, hold on. What's the next one? Okay, so we know there's a running joke that I was a Siren fangirl for a really long time because of the fact they were local to me, so that was the easiest for me to get to. So that's the one that I posted about quite a lot, and they just made really good beers. But what would you guess is the Siren beer that I would buy anytime it was rebrewed?
Ooh.
And again, I feel like I've said it a few times, so you should know.
It's the I can't remember what it's called. It's the coffee one. The coffee pale ale.
Affogato. I'll give it to you because I know. I'll give it to you because it was very clear that you knew exactly what was being talked about.
I couldn't remember the name of the beer.
So that's fine.
Yeah,
you got that one. Got that one absolutely.
Victorious.
It was one of those things that it could have either gone. It could have gone in the direction of refashioned, or it could have gone affogato because, like, for me, they're neck and neck. So I was like, I don't know which one you're going to say, but I feel like affogato I'll buy at any time because I'll drink it at any time, whereas like refashioned is really something that you have to like savor for the right moment.
Yeah. You'd have to, and like I feel like you buy it and save it rather than
exactly like it's not like I'd go, whereas like I have physically been in that shop and been like, there's only one affogato left, it's lonely, I better buy it up.
To buy it, I must take this home.
I was like, I'm gonna get one, but then it leaves another one, so I better get the other one
too.
Yeah, whereas like if with the bottles I'm like, I've got a few, that's enough, that'll do me.
Yeah. Okay. If I had to pick a craft beer from a specific region, where would I choose? The region.
Specific region. Are we talking about in the UK or out of the UK?
Worldwide.
I feel like I want to make a snap judgment, but then I'm also a bit like, oh, this could be a really bad snap judgment. But I'm gonna say Belgium. But I don't know if I'm projecting that because of me, because I was kind of going between, do I want to go Munich maybe? But then I'm also like, oh, I don't know. Ooh. Germany.
I didn't think this one would be that hard.
It is quite hard, actually.
Is it?
Yeah. All right.
No, it's not.
Okay, what is it?
Alaska.
Oh yeah, that's difficult, because when you say a specific region, I'd be thinking like country. I wouldn't be thinking individual state, because that's a lot more difficult. I should have asked you. Should I
have said craft beer place?
Maybe, but I guess it's because I probably would be like, oh, Alaska brewery. I know that. If you had said like, what's my favorite brewery, I'd be like, Alaskan brewery. Like, if you were like any brewery, like, where am I going to? Like, that's the one. But I think I'd be like, oh, what else is in Alaska to make that? Because I think if I were thinking about it, but I think it's because like if I'm thinking about it for myself, I'm going like,
this
what's
makes me
the
feel like I haven't.
Region?
This makes me feel like I haven't indoctrinated you enough in the great Alaskan beer. No. I need to work on this.
You only talk about Alaskan brewery.
There are other great Alaskan breweries.
All right, well, okay, you've still got some. Okay,
I've got some work to do there. Good.
Work to do there for converting the masses. How many other, or just going to say like one of each, how many other different types of brewery merch do I have? I'll say specifically wearables, just to make it easier. Wearables that are not t-shirts and hoodies.
You've got sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a bobble hat. You've probably got a cap. I think. Have you got a scarf? I'm gonna go 5.
Close. It's 7. So it's close. seven in terms of wearables, or 15. Like the other was like, I wasn't sure where I was going to ask with it. 15 in terms of like overall things. Okay. But then that kind of got a bit, I ended up switching to wearable things because I thought just overarching stuff is a lot. So I had a face mask. I've got Siren face masks. I've got multiple pairs of sunglasses from multiple different breweries. Yeah. I got socks. I got hats. Yeah, I group socks all together, hats all together, because that's like whether it's a cap or a bubble hat. Hat is a hat. I have jewelry. I've got a double-barreled necklace. Yeah. Double-barreled necklace. I've got pin badges. I didn't think
about those as wearables. I didn't think about them.
Yeah. And I've got a tote bag / cool bag, because I can wear bags.
Wearables. I wouldn't have included a bag. Wearables. I didn't include a bag as a wearable.
Yeah, but see, I can wear that. I take it out. I go out with it. It's a fashion. That's a fashion accessory. Fashion accessory.
All right, this is my last question.
I was going to say, to be fair, I didn't count the other things, so I did start counting bottle opener, glassware, coasters, growlers, bar runner, posters and artwork, keychains. I have a Rubik's Cube. That's probably my most random beer-related item, is probably the Rubik's Cube. I got board games. I got all the damn stuff.
I've got board games. I've got a board game. I've got a breweries Monopoly.
I've got multiple board games. It's bad.
My strangest thing is probably my delirium hat.
The elephant one, yeah?
That is the elephant, yeah.
Yeah.
I've also got a delirium witch's hat.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I don't know where it is, actually. It's somewhere. Yeah, I did think about asking you how many beer glasses I've got, but I didn't want to have to count them all.
I thought about asking you that, and I did the exact same thing. I could count them.
Too many.
But then I don't want to, and inevitably some would be in the wash, some of them would be put away in another cupboard.
I was like, I'm not doing that to myself. That just sounds terrible.
I only asked the t-shirt one because of the fact that I was going through the motions of like doing it anyways.
Okay, this is my last question. Which holiday am I most likely to celebrate with a special craft beer?
I feel like that could be potentially a really, really hard one. That's difficult because I feel like, are we like we're probably not counting like Oktoberfest as a holiday, are we?
No.
That's just not a holiday. I was gonna say maybe like, I'd say like the winter solstice, but then I'm like, I don't know if that's the one that you'd say. It's gonna be really obvious. I'm gonna go with that, and then you can just.
I mean, you're relatively close.
I was gonna say, well, I was like potentially Christmas because I was like, there's a specific ones there, but
the answer is actually Halloween.
Oh, so
I always have a special beer on Halloween because Halloween is the witch's New Year.
Yeah, I didn't think about that because I thought that there was more in winter because of like the special winter seasonal flavors and stuff like that, and obviously like.
Christmas winter solstice is definitely the next one
because then I thought like advent calendar, and you're like, I've got a specific one that I've picked out for Christmas. That's why my brain went there as opposed to Halloween.
You were close.
That's fair. That was difficult. That one was difficult.
That's more difficult than I thought it was going to be. I thought you were going to get that right away.
No, because I thought that was too easy. I thought if I said that, you'd be like, yeah. I thought if you were like if I was like Halloween, you'd be like, no.
That's be ridiculous.
Just normal, like that's for pumpkin. That's it. I was gonna ask you about what the first brewery branded teku glass I got was from, but we already said that. Yeah, so that doesn't count. And
they don't make them anymore.
Ooh, no, they don't. But I still have mine. Haha. I've got two more. Who was the first brewery that I volunteered behind a bar for? I've worked behind many bars now at festivals. Who was the first one?
I want to say Siren.
Are you locking that in?
I'm wavering between Siren and Elusive. I think it was Siren. I'm locking that in.
It was not. It was Full Circle. We had them on the podcast.
Oh, sugar! Yes, it was.
They were the whole. I owe them so much because they were the whole reason I, got to go to a whole weekend-long festival to help them out. That was
Graham used to get you to come and help.
I could cover because they're so far up north. He'd be like, "Oh, if you can help us down south, it's less people we have to send down south." And it was awesome having them on, getting to know them, like getting to work with them, like just really cool. So. First brewery. And then the final question. I'm going to take off this and expose the shirt that my sister made for me because I literally have no other time that I can wear it. It is for anyone that's listening, it is a Will It Slushy shirt. My sister made it for me. It's actually really comfy material, but like you can't really go out wearing a t-shirt with your own Instagram handle on it or anything like that.
Why not?
Because I feel like you have to wear it for very specific things.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And this is one of those very specific things. And the question is, how many episodes of Will It Slushy have been released to the public? We're not just talking about recorded and never released because we know what my track record is. How many have I physically put out there that you can find today on either my TikTok, which I haven't closed down but I don't really use, or my Instagram?
I don't think it's that many. I think it's sub 10.
Okay, sub 10's not an answer. Just pick a number.
Because I'm deliberating. I'm deliberating. Give me a moment.
I need a moment, please. It's a very important question. It's a very passionate, important question.
Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish?
I'm
7.
You were right that it is a very, very low number. The answer is 2. I could have sworn. Oh my God, I could have sworn.
I'm not going to say 5 because I feel like that's not fair. I'm sure she's done more than that.
Do you want to know why you feel that way? Because I've recorded a lot of them and I have bought a lot of beers to put through the slushy maker. But brilliant. Unfortunately, the only thing I hadn't checked is, let me give a quick a quick double check on my YouTube. I'm fairly certain, though, the answer is just 2, because that was consistent on my TikTok and my Instagram.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant.
Hold the line, Collar. Hold the line. I've got 2 subscribers. That's exciting.
Hey! That's really exciting.
I'm like, who's...
A like and subscribe goes a long way, guys.
A like and subscribe goes a long way. Yeah, it's just 2. Can validate. It's been validated. It's just 2. Despite the fact that I've probably... Thank you. Despite the fact that I've probably recorded so many and then just gone, yeah, can't be bothered. That's excellent. I've got lots of beers that I need to put through the slushy maker. Haven't done it yet. So there we go. I thought that was a good one to end on.
That's amazing. I love that. That was so good. Right, so I think we should do... Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure what else you've got, but I've got some questions about our podcast stats for you.
Okay.
Should we do that before we get into the next beer? Because I feel like we want to save the next beer
do that
till the
because
end, right?
Yeah. Let's do that because
okay.
I still got some more to finish of these. So.
Yeah, and this one's delicious. Right, so I've gone back through all of our episodes that we have put out as of recording right now. So by the time this comes out, some of these numbers may be incorrect. And also, some of them were quite difficult to work out.
Okay.
So
I'm bad at maths, so that's why I'm glad you did it.
This is kind of vaguely accurate.
Caveat, we can't be held responsible.
Do not sit and pick through every single one of our episodes, listeners, and go, you got that wrong. Or do, and tell me that I got it wrong, and I'll be cool, yeah. Thanks. I'll save it for the next time. How many lager episodes have we currently put out to date? Like, date of recording today?
That's hard. The date of recording. How many are physically out to the public?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. 14?
Oh, you're close. It's 13.
Oh, I was going between 12 and 14, and it's right in the middle.
Yeah. How many interviews have we done in the past 4 years?
Oh, you asked this question before.
I did.
And I was surprised. And obviously it's gone up since then.
Yeah. And this is like interview episodes. It's not how many like different breweries we've interviewed, because sometimes
just
there's more
interviews
than one person
in general,
in one.
yeah.
It's interview episodes.
And we've done 200 episodes, over 200 episodes.
Yep.
46?
Oh, much more than that. We've done 73 interviews.
Oh, I felt like I wanted to go higher, but then I thought, have I deceived myself? So go slightly lower.
And fun fact, I worked that out, that is 35% of our episodes have been interviews.
I mean,
that's quite nice.
I've enjoyed our interviews.
Amount. Yeah.
Going from the point that we were like, we don't know when we're going to be doing an interview.
Yeah.
I quite enjoy the interviews.
That's quite good.
What's your favourite interview, Ben?
Ooh.
And there's going to be different favourites for different reasons, but like gut feel. What's the one that you feel like, for whatever reason,
what was the best one we've done, or my favourite one doing it? Because that's different.
Yeah, I don't know, just whichever one like springs to your head first and why. Because I think I have a few that are different, but I know like...
I mean, I really enjoyed the episode we did with Emma and Helena, just because it was such a fun time.
Just because a litre of stout.
Yeah, because we drank a litre of Imperial Stout.
I would do that again.
Time.
I felt like we should have learned, but like I would do it again.
I feel like
hands down.
I want to say I would do it again, but I probably would.
I would do it again. I feel like those are like some of the best ones though, is like having like staying on and chatting afterwards, chatting to Charlotte until like 1 a.m. That was memorable.
Our episode with Charlotte has been listened to. It's one of our highest listened episodes actually.
Oh, that was good. I think like gut feel for me, one of my favorite ones, like not necessarily like the most fun that I've had or the most, because I feel like all of our Brave Noise ones as well, they were like the really, really so meaningful,
yeah,
you know, the one, especially like I really actually enjoyed the one that we did with like Beer Fridge, because the fact that how really good that conversation was and open and honest and like all that was really good. I think in terms of just like what I felt that I did the best on in terms of like asking really good questions was the Holy Goat one. I think because I had so much stuff I wanted to know and I had it like in a really well organized way. And I think the difference is because never had spoken to Johnny before, and therefore like everyone else that we've had on, we've kind of like had, for the most part, we've had some level of like relationship with them before. Usually we've had like a decent relationship before. And I think like going into it clean slate, I was like, I need to be professional. I need to ask these really good questions. I need to like know these things. And I had so much I wanted to know that I felt like I was probably the most proud of how I handled that interview in comparison to just like the fun that we had in the other ones.
Definitely. So we've done a few episodes about different beverages. So how many cocktail episodes have we put out?
Oh.
And what other beverages have we done episodes about?
Oh, that's hard. In terms of looking at the other beverages or style, like with the cocktail ones where it's like we've done the style of.
So the cocktail ones, like where we've gone like beers that are like this cocktail that we would recommend to somebody.
Yeah.
And then what other ones have we done
that are just on
either
another
about a
thing.
beverage or are, you know, or like a beverage?
I am going to say in terms of the cocktail ones, 10.
Ooh.
No, 6. I'm going to go 6. Because I think 10's ambitious.
7.
I was like, I'm like 10. I was going in hard, and then I thought about the fact that in comparison to the lager episodes, I was like, that's ambitious. Pull it back.
I thought we'd done more cocktail episodes, but we haven't because it's difficult to find them. And then what other beverages have we done?
We have done hot water.
Yeah.
We have done mead.
Yeah.
We have done, in terms of like similar styles, we've done red wine, white wine, sparkling wine.
Yeah.
We've done rosé as well, but I think we like grouped them all together.
Yeah.
We have done, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think we've done cider. We have done cider. We did do cider. No, we did do cider
because you wanted to.
We did because we did do cider because I was just about to say we did do it strictly because I wanted to drink a little Pomona.
Yeah,
and we had a Daya collab, didn't we? So that was like excellent. So cider. I can't think of any others. What were there any others?
We've also done hard seltzer, and decided we didn't like hard seltzer.
Ever.
We don't know how to.
But I guess it's because I was like hot waters and then I kind of like group them all together in my head.
How many Brave Noise episodes have we now done?
I feel like that one could be 10.
Are you locking that in?
I'm going to go 12 actually.
Ooh, so close to these. 13.
Oh, because I was trying to think. I think there's 20 breweries that are listed just about of having done it in the UK, and we haven't managed to get all of we didn't manage to get all of them, but I was like, we've definitely managed to get a good portion of them.
Yeah, we got a good chunk.
I was like, I know we got over half, so that's why I went conservative with the 12. So yes, I'm happy with my answer.
How many different beer styles have we looked at on the podcast?
Oh my god, that is a question and a half. Different style. Oh, in 200 episodes.
In 200 episodes. 200. Over 200 episodes now.
Over 200 episodes now. 105.
Oh, not that many. 35.
Well,
I know.
I was like, lager episode alone was
Yeah.
12 or whatever. That's crazy. I thought it was going to be at least half of ours were style guidelines.
No.
That means we've just waffled on about crap.
I know. We've talked about a lot of nonsense.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
I thought it was at least half.
This is my last question and it is my favourite. Okay. How many pumpkin spice beers have we drunk on the podcast? This was really difficult to work out, so it might be wrong, but I have a ballpark number.
18.
15, I counted.
Oh, I was about to say 16 because I was thinking 4 a year for 4 years.
Yeah.
And then I was like, but then some of them might have slipped in other times as well.
We did our green hop versus pumpkin episode. We've done a couple of pumpkin spice episodes throughout the years.
We just did one where we used it for chocolate pairing.
Yeah, we used it for chocolate pairing. I drank one on the craft beerings episode. We kind of like chucked one in every now and then because we just love a pumpkin spice.
Because they're great.
So about 15 pumpkin spice beers we've drunk on the podcast
over
the last 4 years.
I'm proud of the answers I gave. I don't feel I was massively far off on them.
No,
so
you did really well.
I think I'm closer this time than I was last year. Yeah. I'll take it. Should we move on to our final?
Let's move on to our final beer.
Yeah. I'm excited about this one.
Yeah.
It's been I've left mine sat out for quite a bit.
I have as well. So it should be nice at the nice temperature. We've got double deep fried caterpillar cake from Vault City. And we're going to drink it with Mini Collins.
I only wish it was a Connie, but it's okay. I'm really excited about this. Yeah. This whole episode was just an excuse to have this, really. Because I didn't think we'd be able to get hands on it.
I know,
we found it in a shop. Yeah, we were like, we've missed it. Because I feel like the double deep fried Mars bar sold out like so
sold out so like I managed to grab us one each really quickly and I was like, I got it. And I thought, like, when we were talking about it, and you were like, I really want to try it. I was like, there's no way we're going to get it. Let me Google.
Yeah, I was like, we're never going to get it.
I was like, oh, this one's got it. Here we go.
Yeah, and this was 14.5%. I said to Rick, I was like, oh, do you want some of this? And he was like, what is it? And I was like, you can have a sip when I'm done. Need it for the podcast. And then he was just like, what, what style? I said, it's an Imperial style. He's like, all right. And I was like, it's 14.5%. And he was like, what? He's like, just a taste then, just a little taste. So what I will say I really like is that even though it's a 330ml can, it feels like it's almost arguably slightly smaller. And I kind of like that for a 14.5%. Because like, I'm not sure how rich it's going to be, how thick and syrupy it's going to be. I don't know what to expect from it. I'm guessing it's going to be pretty mouth coating at 14.5% for an Imperial Stout. And that can be sometimes too much. So
I'm an advocate for a smaller can.
Yeah, I'm even happy with like 250ml on some of these ones. Because I just want enough to have tried it, get the taste for it, enjoy it, and it isn't too much at that point. Yeah. So let's find out how we get on with this one then.
Okay, right.
Oh, so like pop with that as well. Funnily enough, we were talking about a beer the other day that the episode hasn't come out yet, but there's a plop that on the end. And I told you about my coworker who was like really, really loving that beer. Went in, was talking about my trips to Derby, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that place that you took us, and I had that beer that made the awesome popping noise. That's still my favorite beer."
Oh, bless him.
And I was like, I'm so glad. I was just talking about you last time and about how much you loved that. And he was like, I loved it so much. I still have the bottle. And I was like, good.
Hilarious.
We made him take the bottle, so.
So this is very dark brown.
Yeah.
Mine's got no head on it. Yours?
Mine doesn't either.
No.
I'm using my double barrel glass that has the gold.
Oh, you got your fancy glass.
Confetti. I was like, I want my fancy glass for this.
I mean, it smells like chocolate cake.
It smells like chocolate cake, but it also smells like it's going to be really rich. And looking at how it is like in the glass, I'm just really worried it's going to be so thick that it's going to be syrupy and sickly.
Right. It's got like legs.
Legs for days.
It's got legs, right? Right, you ready?
Happy
Cheers
birthday.
to 4 years. Happy birthday.
Cheers to 4 years. 4 beers for 4 years. Oh my God, that is beautiful. It's nutty. It's nutty, it's rich, it's chocolatey. What I like about it's boozy. What I really like about it from the first sip is like you can definitely tell it's boozy. It's definitely, I wouldn't say it's thick in the sense of it's like like the upper end of medium body, but I wouldn't say that it's like so thick that it's like chewy and you go, that's too much for something so boozy. Oh, there's some like coffee notes like left over in my mouth. I'm not mad about it.
Yeah. Ooh. All right, we're gonna drink this with
is a sipper,
Colin.
though, isn't it?
It's a sipper. It is a sipper. Like you ain't knocking that one back.
I'm sure people have.
How do you eat a mini Colin? Like, do you eat his face? Do you eat his bum?
Like, I never eat.
Do you break him in half?
I'm gonna say I never eat his face.
No.
Because I don't like that. I don't like the chocolate on his face.
Oh, okay.
So I always take it off.
You're just gonna peel his face.
Bum.
You're gonna peel his face off.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna feel bad about it. No, I'll eat him. I'll go from the butt. I'll go butt first.
Okay, bum first.
Oh my god, this is not good because I'm like dropping the little bits of chocolate, and I'm like, Phelan, please don't eat these. It brings out a vanilla note to me, like a barrel, like a wooden
like
barrel.
Like a barrel-y note, yeah.
When I say like vanilla, I mean the vanilla that you get from a barrel.
Yeah.
From the wood in a barrel.
This don't need more barrel.
No, this has got the right amount of barrel, I think. Oh god. It's boozy AF.
It's so boozy. Like it's leaving rings on my glass.
It is, yeah.
Of booze.
Oh my god, yeah. You can...
Yeah, look. Goodness me.
It's good. Like, the flavour, though, is good. Like, it feels like in the same way that you would have a whiskey glass or something like that. You're sitting there to enjoy it. You're not sitting there to be like, who can drink this the fastest? And I'm sure there will be people that are like trying to speed run it and like, but then I feel like to me, that's just a waste of a 14.5% beer. Everyone drinks how they enjoy it. To me, it's a waste of a 14.5% beer. But I do feel like I could light my breath on fire right now.
Yeah. Tis boozy.
Okay, we're nearly done. We're nearing the home stretch. We have got, before we go any further, do we want to do Cuppa with the Colin?
Oh, we do. I need to top mine up a little bit. Hang on.
I'm going to go Cuppa with the Colin. I need to have a sip of the Cuppa first to really adjust my palate.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still good.
All right.
Oh, all right, let's go.
Good beer.
It's not a good beer, it's a great beer.
Yeah.
I don't think it goes very well, in my opinion. It brings out too much bitterness. I don't feel like the chocolate pairs right with it.
No, I don't think chocolate is one to pair with this.
Mm.
I think you're right.
I think the one that paired with Cuppa the best was the Victoria Sponge. For me.
I like the ham sandwich, man.
And I think the Victoria Sponge paired best with the piece of cake and the Cuppa and the sandwich. Let's be real. Paired great with sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh, right. As we sip on the rest of this Colin.
Yes.
The double deep fried Colin. Oh, no, sorry, we can't call it Colin. It's just a caterpillar cake.
Can't call it that.
Because we don't know. They might not have actually used a Colin. They might have gone crazy and used like another caterpillar, which...
Right.
I mean, I imagine it's a Colin because this tastes like quality.
Yeah.
Therefore, it probably was a Colin. We can't say for sure. But you know that on this podcast, we are hot on the trends.
Yes.
I could be aging this podcast.
I guess.
Well, hot on the trends. Just go with it. I know that we're not.
Yes. We are
do
hot
what we
on
want.
the trends.
We are young. We are... What is it? We're demure.
We're demure. We're cutesy.
We're cute. We're cutesy. We're demure, and we are great. And I'm gonna give you a roast an AI roast of our podcast. So
amazing.
everyone's doing it. Everyone's out there. Everyone's doing it. It's the latest thing. I mean, it's probably going to be over by the time this episode comes out because that's how quick trends go. But because we're so demure, I'm just going to go with it. So I asked... so mindful. Yes. I have asked to please roast my podcast called A Woman's Brew.
Okay.
It pulled from like lots of different like sources for the podcast. And it came up with, I'm just going to read it all. All right. Please. Let's dive into A Woman's Brew, because if there's one thing the world needs more of, it's another podcast about craft beer, this time with a feminine twist. Just hold your laughter till the end, because I want to see your reaction throughout all this. There's several points to go through. The name, A Woman's Brew, clever. It's like you're saying, hey, we're women who drink beer, so obviously that's worth an entire podcast, because, you know, having a drink while being female is practically revolutionary in 2024. Who knew women could enjoy beer too? What's next? A podcast about women drinking coffee called A Woman's Brew 2? TOO. That's a great idea.
That's a great idea. We should probably start that.
Thanks, ChatGPT. The content, let me guess, you cover everything from beer pairings to brewery visits, all while maintaining that we're just two gals having fun vibe. I also never said that we were two gals. This obviously just picked that up. Groundbreaking. It's like you've cornered the market on combining the most basic hobbies with the sheer novelty of being women doing them. And I'm sure your listeners are on the edge of their seats waiting to find out which IPA pairs best with insert random snack here.
Excuse me, ChatGTP, we don't generally use IPAs, we use other beers, thank you very much.
That's what made me laugh, 'cause I'm like, we never do that, thank you very much. Today, we only had one IPA, and it's not even that, it was a Pilsner.
It's a Pilsner.
Thank you very much. You are wrong. And I did, maybe just put out something earlier today that says, tell me exactly what doesn't pair with pretzels. The episodes. You've got entire episodes on things like the complex world of Gers and Vienna Lager series. Wow, riveting stuff. I'm sure everyone's dying to hear more about the nuances of Belgian lambics from people who've spent a whole weekend Googling it. And don't even get me started on your themed episode. Greek. So this is obviously picked up stuff that I done. Greek travel guides for craft beer lovers, because why just enjoy the beauty of Athens when you could be hunting for the most obscure local brew instead? I mean, you got me there.
ChatGPT has got you.
Hands up, you're right. Why do that? The dynamic. This is even, given the context right now, this is even better. This was my gift. This was my birthday gift to you, is doing this.
Thank you.
Dynamic is probably just two hosts giggling over their latest beer discoveries, throwing in some with just like you relatability, while sipping on a seasonal stout that tastes like liquid pumpkin pie.
I mean, I wish I had a liquid pumpkin pie stout right now.
I can practically hear the forced laughs as you describe how hoppy the beer is, because let's face it, even the word hoppy sounds ridiculous when you say it enough times. The audience. I bet your audience consists of people who already think they know everything about craft beer, but listen to your podcast just so they can smugly nod along and say, yes, I totally knew that. It's like you're the voice of a very specific niche. The female craft beer enthusiast who want to feel seen while she feels down, well, who wants to feel seen while she downs her artisanal brew. That ChatGPT's coming for you guys.
ChatGPT's coming for you, not just us.
Coming for you,
you listeners.
It's you
coming
now.
For you.
But then, to be fair, the conclusion is, in a world saturated with podcasts about literally everything, a woman's brewer is out there breaking the mold by talking about beer from a woman's perspective. If there's one thing your listeners will never run out of, it's an endless supply of new beer content, all delivered with that comforting reassurance that, yes, women do in fact drink beer. Cheers to that.
Hey, cheers, ChatGTP.
Cheers to that. That was gift number one. I've also given you gift number two.
Thank you.
I've given you gift number two here, where I've also asked it to roast our Instagram feed. So I've done it in two different ways. The first one was just like the snippet that has our name and the first thing, and then the next was like just all the full tiles. I've got comments. So it says, all right. So I said, oh, can you roast this this podcast feed? All right, let's get into this Instagram feed. The handle, a woman's brew, straightforward, but it feels like you're hitting us over the head with the fact that, yes, you're women who drink beer. Got it. We've established that. Now can we move on? The bio says, we are two beer-loving women on a mission to get more people drinking and talking about great beer. Come join us. The mission statement is as noble as it is predictable, because what the world really needed was another podcast encouraging more people to drink beer, as if they weren't already doing that. Also, the come join us sounds like you're just trying to recruit some kind of beer cult. Come join us. We have hops. I mean, that's I feel like that is
oh my god. Is that our new tagline?
I'm gonna make stickers that say "Come join us, we have hops," and we can.
Oh my god! Yes, that's not a roast. We're gonna do that.
That's not a roast. That's just a really great idea. Yes. Thank you. The profile picture, it's giving this could be Etsy store for quirky beer mugs. The two of you look like you're trying to prove just how much fun you're having doing this podcast, but it ends up feeling more like a LinkedIn profile got lost along the way to a bar. That's fair. I'll take it.
Brilliant. That's brilliant.
I mean, we haven't updated that in 4 years. It still is what it is. So the feed, every square inch of this feed is plastered with beer cans, glasses of beer, or your podcast logo. The variety here is as limited as the taste buds of someone who drinks nothing but IPAs. And let's talk about the podcast logo. I get it. Branding is important. But when it's in nearly every post, it starts to feel less like a podcast feed and more like a very dedicated fan page to your own podcast. That made me chuckle. That made me chuckle. And then it said the highlights. You've got Arundel Brewfest, IWCBD 2020, and highlights, as if every post isn't already in your highlights reel. Nothing screams, remember that one time we did that one thing, like a collection of random stories immortalized in your highlights. You've got the content, endless posts about beer episodes, pairings, beer reviews, beer festivals, beer glasses, beer labels, beer t-shirts, and even beer tourism. It's like the beer never ends. Do you guys even remember what water tastes like? The answer to that is no, I don't really drink a lot of water.
I do drink more water than you.
You do drink way more water than I do. I make an effort, but it never follows. The coffee link, as if your followers aren't already bombarded enough with beer content, you're also asking them to support you on coffee, because apparently talking about beer just isn't sustainable without a bit of extra cash from your fans. I think we've proved that we never actually talk about that, number one. And number two, it's not sustainable. We do it anyways. Yeah. The overall vibe, the feed screams, we're really into beer and we think you should be too. But after scrolling through the endless sea of hops and barley, it starts to feel like you're less interested in beer and more interested in making sure everyone knows how much you love it. It's like you're trying to turn your hobby into an identity, but we get it. You drink craft beer. Time to crack open a new idea. In conclusion, your feed is about as subtle as a double IPA. It's all about the beer and it's a little too proud of that fact. I'm not even going to read the second one where I broke down like all the bits. That's something that I'll just send that to you. That's great. I had them roast your feed as well. I'll send you all that. It's great. But I did then ask it to say something nice. So let's end on a nice note. So I said, can you say something nice about a women's brew? Because I have a very fragile ego and I want to hear your feedback as long as it's good, and you have to break bad news to me sensitively. So I'm secretly sensitive. So ChatGPT said, a women's brew podcast is a genuinely refreshing take on the world of beer, blending insightful beer education with a touch of personal charm. The hosts have a warm and engaging style that makes complex beer topics accessible to both novices and enthusiasts. Their enthusiasm for craft beer is contagious, and they manage to create a space where listeners feel like they're part of a friendly chat over a pint with knowledgeable friends. The podcast stands out for its commitment to celebrating beer from a female perspective, bringing diversity to a field often dominated by male voices. It's a must listen for anyone interested in expanding their beer knowledge while enjoying a light-hearted and informative conversation. Cheers to that. I personally hope that that's how everyone feels about us. I like that it also says like giving it from the female perspective, because I think a lot of times there's some kind of misunderstanding that we're a podcast by women for women, and that's like not the case. We're a podcast by women for everybody. And I thank you, ChatGPT. I know you just pulled stuff that we said in other areas and that the things that have been said in spaces and put it together in one, but I think it's nice.
Yeah,
I like that.
lovely.
I will cheers to that. Thank you, ChatGPT.
Cheers.
I feel like I don't really want to end it in any other way because that's a really nice thing to say.
That was great. Well, we've been here 4 years. Here's to 4 more. Tori, if anyone wants to give you suggestions of what we should do in the next 4 years, where can they get hold of you?
Yeah, please give us suggestions on what to do. We'll start planning for year number 5 now. You can send us both suggestions at a Women's Brew on Instagram and Facebook, or you can email us things that you want us to cover over the next few years. You can send us all kinds of stuff. There's so many things that we haven't done yet, so many things we want to do. Send us what you actually want to hear about at womensbrewpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to find me, please don't roast me because I don't normally ask for roastings. I ask for roastings and Joe will tell you about it after. It made me laugh what mine was. It had to do with like a hipster, and I was like, you got it in one.
Wow.
Don't roast me. It hurts my soul. I'm secretly sensitive. But you can come and say nice things to me. And on Instagram at adventures_in_optimism. Maybe at some point, maybe I'll get some more Willet slushies out to justify having this t-shirt. I've got them recorded. I just haven't edited them and put them out there. But yeah, seriously, please message me anything you want to see us do. You can also message me individually, or you can email me at adventuresinoptimism@gmail.com. Joe, if people want to talk to you about like, maybe they want to fight you on how you make a scone. Maybe they don't want. Maybe they want to join your scone crew.
Join my scone crew, because otherwise the joke doesn't work. Come and join my scone crew.
They need to get there before it's scone.
I will. If you want my orange and cranberry scone recipe, I will gladly share it with you. And you can find me. I am Love Beer Learning, and I'm on Instagram mainly. You'll find me on Facebook, on some other places, but if you really want to get hold of me, come find me on Instagram. You can also come to my website, which is lovebeerlearning.co.uk, and on my blog I do have a recipe for beer scones, so go and check that out.
Nice.
Yeah, you can make scones with beer. Or failing
we should
that,
share it in here.
I'll share. There we go. I'll share it in the show notes. There we go. So you can make your own beer scones, or you can email me lovebeerlearning@gmail.com. Right, let's go and sip on this double deep fried caterpillar cake beer.
Thank you guys for listening to us for 4 years and for listening for 2 hours of this. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you didn't, there's always the next one. So
cheers.